This would work for an 80-year-old just as much for a 20-year-old.
Absolutely. I mean, and the research really affirms, especially Dr. Esselstyn's, that in a matter of weeks, people see changes. I just received an email from another woman who attended the class down in Florida, and her husband had serious heart condition. He's had a heart attack, he's had angioplasty, etc. And they went up and met with Dr. Esselstyn and his wife at their home in New York as he does consults. And in 3 weeks of eating the plant-based way totally, and no moderation, his cholesterol plummeted down to 89. Mm-hmm. So she was so thrilled to share that. And I hear more and more stories about people having wonderful reversals.
Yeah, and Dr. Siddhartha had mentioned patients he had worked with who were able to get completely off cholesterol medication as well as diabetic medication.
Exactly.
And that's really exciting to know that. And but you know, the whole bottom line of this is why foods are your best medicine. And I think studies and science is little by little starting to realize it's all about inflammation in the body. Inflammation, same thing, Dr. Soley would verify this as well, that it's inflammation of the arteries from wrong eating, from acid-base, the acid-base balance in the body being out, causing inflammation of the arteries, inflammation of the veins. And prolonged inflammation can actually mutate a cell.
Absolutely.
And if a cell becomes mutated, what's the next step? It starts proliferating, reproducing the wrong message over and over again. It starts creating what we call a cancer cell and more cancer cells.
And our Western diet is so highly acidic.
Yes.
So it just lends to that environment. When I first started eating this way, it was interesting. I was developing osteoarthritis in my wrist. And I was at the point where I could not do that with my hand. The pain was so intense. And when I started eating this way, 4 months later, I said to Dr. Siddhartha, who's also my doctor, I said, you know, I'm in the kitchen and I'm chopping and cooking and it doesn't hurt. And he said, aha. He said, when your external inflammation, leaves, you know that your internal inflammation as well is healing. So just feeling all of these changes for myself just made me so passionate about this journey.
See, and that's the kind of thing that got you really involved with this whole movement, is that you had a personal experience of a problem that was out of control, it was getting worse, and here, food being your best medicine, you were able to
well, that and high lipid numbers, and I always thought I was eating, healthy and working out, and in 4 months, everything came plummeting down. So between feeling the effects of the arthritis leaving, and then doing all of the study, I began to get involved in this. I started doing plant-based cooking demos in my home, and one thing led to the other. So if anybody ever told me 5 years ago that I'd be doing this in semi-retirement, I'd say you're crazy. But
well, I'm signing up for your class. I don't care. No, one thing too, now that with the economy the way it is, more and more people are now starting to grow their own food in their backyard. And my wife and I have a nice little garden going, and I encourage everybody out there to get involved. Now, we talk about the $200 tomato, but if that tomato is loaded with nutrition, what's that worth to you?
Exactly.
With a minimal about, now you have these little topsy-turvy plant hangers. You can grow stuff right in your back.
Yes.
Even if you're in a condominium, you can hang stuff and grow it.
Yeah.
And you can control the kind of soil. It's all organic. You don't have to spray it with anything.
Right.
So it's something to look into, that have your own little victory. Back in the World War II, they called it Victory Garden. That was just called your health garden.
Yeah, we have ours at home, and it gives me great satisfaction going out, picking my own kale and my own produce and my lettuce, and knowing that it's pure.
And it tastes better, too.
It does.
Those
it does.
plastic greenhouse tomatoes and everything like that. Anyway, this is really fantastic. Now, we're going to put some information up on the show so people can maybe, is it all right if people contact you or about this show?
That'd be wonderful.
And just tell me something else about the what the other flyer, the Delicate Balance. What is that about?
This is something aside from the Cancer Project. This is my own doing. But I'm having a showing of a film July 9th at the Cape Screening Room. It's called A Delicate Balance. And it's an award-winning Australian film which really explores the whole relationship between disease and nutrition. And many of these physicians, the top experts in the field, from Dr. Barnard to Colin Campbell, Dr. Esselstyn, and many others, are interviewed on this film. And they also talk about the effects on our planet. Dr. Siddhartha is gracious enough to do a Q&A after the film, and our proceeds are going to benefit Champ House. So if anyone is interested, they can contact me in Dennis.
And where, this is on July 9th?
July
And where's
9th
it again
at the
now?
Cape Screening Room, which is at the Cape Museum
the
of
Cape
Art
Museum
in
of Art,
Dennis,
of
on the
course.
grounds of the Cape Playhouse.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So-
on 6A in Dennis.
Right, $10 a ticket, so if you want to get your tickets ahead of time so you don't get stuck
Yeah,
on
you
line
can count on
outside.
me being there.
Wonderful.
As long as I'm not in Julia's class that night, that'll be fine. Maybe we'll all go over there and watch anyway. That'd
So
be great.
we're real excited about this movement happening on the Cape, and little by little it is. I was in the Daniel Webster for lunch a couple of weeks ago, and I was absolutely delighted that they have a green palette included on their menu. And I talked to the general manager, and the chef came out, and we talked about the Cancer Project, and they talked about how important it is to give people choices. So one of my passions, if I have time, is to encourage other restaurants on the Cape to join the bandwagon and give people healthy choices.
Yes, yes, because this is a sort of a mecca for food. People come down here and they want to eat. And wouldn't it be refreshing if more restaurants offered alternative, well-cooked vegetarian dishes, organic dishes? That would enhance their reputation,
Right,
showing
right.
that they're at least trying to be conscious about healthy food choices and,
And-
helping lead the way
and,
in that way.
If I could too, I want to thank the Dennisport Natural Marketplace because they're donating all the food for our upcoming series.
Yeah, I don't mind
So,
plugging them.
yeah.
And they are located on
In,
6A and
28 in Dennisport,
28, okay.
28, and in Chatham as well.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So, well, I see our time grows short, and I wanted to thank you so much for coming
Thank
on our
you for
show,
having
Joanne.
me. I've appreciated
I'd
it and
love
enjoyed
to have you
talking
on
with
in a
you.
future show. I think this is so timely and relevant that hopefully our viewing audience will get inspired and
I hope
get
so.
in touch, get educated, read the China Study, read these
Yes.
other great books, Food for Life. And one more thing, too. This is just a part and aside from everything else. I wanted to thank Julia Ostatki, and I want to congratulate her on winning her Emmy for Best Animated Production. And she was my teacher, and she's been an inspiration to us all for being able to continue with the shows on public access to educate people, because this is
great.
real TV, folks. We cannot minimize the importance of that and be able to have wonderful guests like you on. So
That's wonderful.
thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm Dr. Mark Walcott with Joanne Irwin, and we're keeping it real about your health.